Done up my hair, getting ready.
Everyone can hear you. Hey, everyone. Welcome to AI Amigos Show. It's just the two amigos today, right? There's only two. There's only me and Jinzhao. So welcome, everyone. Marina couldn't make it today. She is trying to get her driver's license, hopefully. Best of luck to Marina in that venture.
Yeah.
So today we have a very interesting topic, Jinzhao. Oh, before we discuss that, remember, we are sponsored by Tequila AI.
Yeah.
Good bunch of people. Good bunch of people, yeah?
Definitely sponsor us. It's good people. So anybody feel like you're very good people, sponsor us then.
Okay, so
we keep talking about that before. Remember that 2,000 euro subscription about OpenAI? We still didn't
200,000. That's what it was. It was 200,000.
Is it? Oh my god!
Yeah.
Well, no.
No, sorry. It was 20,000. It was 20,000. That's what it was. It was 20,000 a month.
Yeah. If you are Saudi Arabia, kind of like a prince, have loads of money, sponsor us. Otherwise, other people don't. It's too much money.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, brother. Well, today we have an interesting topic, and today we're going to be talking about DeepSeek, which I know you really like, Jinzhao, and you can tell me if you got off of it or not. Are you still with them? The new version 3.2, and then we're going to be talking about versus Gemini, which is the smarter models, and they are coming out with more and more and better stuff, are they not?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And I mean, like, I use DeepSeek a lot before in the API spaces, just purely because they're really, really cheap.
That helps.
Yeah, definitely, because if you use any other ones, you can see your credits going down. You can see the money you're buying the token. But for this,
ching.
Yeah. For this, they have the price. And normally when China is out, they give you, like, we can use in Ireland at nighttime, it's quarter of the fee or half the fee because all the infrastructure is in China. When they're sleeping, they're really selling it cheap on the API cost if you're directly getting from them. And even that, also the open route, they're one of those models. There's always a free one you can use. So there's someone running for free. In terms also that their console is still free. You can use it. It's just not. I know it's probably not as much wow factor as before now because compared to other stuff, they are really advancing quite a lot in Gemini and all that spaces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but still kind of good, solid. What do you call it? Toyota, we call, right? If you don't want a Ferrari, you can get a good Toyota. We talked about that today.
Well, either way, if it gets you from A to B, it gets you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did talk about Toyotas today. Very reliable. Some people love Toyotas. I drive a Toyota, by the way. But they are reliable. I mean, my first was Nissan, but definitely liking Toyotas as well.
So that is the thing. I think when you're looking into the agentic AI spaces, I think a lot of people compare those AI models. They don't really. They just put a whole lot in the prompt and see which one respond better, right? There are different level of first. You have to think about the prompt engineering. How do you prompt correctly to get a better results? And then the next is breaking down the prompt more into like agentic stuff. Agentic, those big model and small model, if you plan it smart enough, they're not much different
from each other.
Yeah, on the genuine stuff, because you can have a small task like, okay, read this file. If it's good, give me yes. If it's not, give me no. That every model is the same. But for some particular case, you might find the Claude is better on writing it, or Gemini is better at creating a table or something like that. But that is really like a specific kind of modeling. But generally speaking, you can have an orchestration agent just using DeepSeek to save some tokens and money.
Okay. Yeah, well, because I was going to ask, I mean, if you're using an agent to orchestrate, I was going to ask, do you think it's down to the prompting, how you prompt that in.
From my experiences, I don't think that much. I know I write the tools, switching the AI, and the format is the same. The result, the display, slightly different. The only pinpoint annoying thing is for DeepSeek is the API. They're totally different than any other model. How it display as well. For example, you can switch Claude to Gemini easy enough, or how they display those boats or just the character when you are putting to HTML or something. But for DeepSeek, it just the format of the API is different, so you can't just take it out and swap it. So you have to refactor your code, or you will have just a function of really just for kind of DeepSeek. So the output and input are slightly different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and these are the kind of nuances you have to know in order to be able to make it work the way you want it to work. to get the output you want. In other words, if you don't know the inputs, garbage in, garbage out, kind of a thing.
Yeah, what I mean by that is like sometimes if you want a table, maybe the format, how it produced the table in DeepSeek are different than Claude or something like that. So you could be changing your whole application just because the kind of the API call coming back is different than the Claude. So that's the problem there. Other than that, I think DeepSeek is pretty good.
Okay. Well, I mean, I haven't had. I'll be honest. I have not had much experience with DeepSeek. I'm definitely not as much as you have had, Jin Chao. I've had experience with Gemini. And I will say that, and you and I were having a conversation earlier this week about this, where, a year ago, because it's been a year that we've been doing this AI Amigos show.
Yeah.
But a year ago, we were talking about how Google had just really missed the boat because, they had that live demo and it failed, remember? And it was like stock price plummeted when that happened. And it looked like just, OpenAI came out of nowhere, which they did, and just came out with this really amazing product, with Microsoft and a few other backers. And here we are a year later. And I mean, I'm reading a lot of stuff about OpenAI. I don't know if it's true or not. There's some issues there in regards to pressures from them trying to recoup the initial investment to get started. And, there was, and plus also they've been buying a lot of, GPUs and other TPUs, and they're buying all this, a lot of upfront costs, and how many people are paying and things like that, so trying to recoup that. Where you look at Google, and Google has seemed to be, I think, really good in regards to how they're integrating it with their G Suite. Works with Google Mail, Google Drive. It's all integrated, where people are already, organizations, enterprises are using this already. That it's just built in, because you're not copying and pasting or putting prompts into other things, or you're not doing, you're not saying, okay, I've got ChatGPT over here. This has been the way I've worked it before. ChatGPT on one screen, and on the other screen, I've got what I'm working on, whether it's code or SQL or a document, and I'm copying and pasting and going back and forth one screen to the other. Where now with Gemini, it's all built in. You don't have to go. It's all on one screen.
I mean, it's really good package they give, right, for the money wise. It's really worth the money. Like $21.99 for Ireland currently, the pro version, and then the stuff they have, right? They you talking about they have Gemini included in their console, and then 1 terabyte or something like cloud space. Don't forget about that. And then they have they also have the notebook LM you can use as for free. And I think there's 2 specific platform. There's called Whisk something, and the other one is video and kind of imaging platform as well for $21.99. Do you know what I mean? And like a lot of those other platforms, like €20 just for the platform itself, for the Gen AI.
Yeah.
You just
And
can't.
and then you still run into token limits.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, oh, I paid $20 and I've got unlimited. It's still, yeah.
But so far, I don't think I have run to the limit in Gen AI, right? In Gemini, I think the IT department told me I'm the most used Gemini in the whole company, but I haven't reached the token limits on the console, so that was good. That's good. Yeah.
That's a good list to be on, Jinchao. You overused AI.
Yeah. The IT manager has a graph, right? Has who is used the most of them, and
Yeah.
somehow I used a lot.
You were named and shamed.
By far. So yeah.
Well, I think you'd rather be on that list than any other list from the IT guy, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting.
But see, would you say then, like, if you think about what you're doing today, right, with AI compared to even 6 months ago, but let's just go a year ago, how do you would you ever imagine to be doing what you're doing now? Does that make sense? Like the stuff that's happening now, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think last year this time, right? We're talking about probably GPT-4.
Yeah.
And Gemini has 1.5 Pro.
Agents, we're talking about agents coming out as well.
Yeah, we're starting to talking about agents,
Mhm.
and the coding tools kind of the vibe coding was big, but it started getting big, but not many people really nailed it. Except the cursor really kind of start to getting there. I'm still using some kind of plugin in my Visual Studio Code using tokens to go through creation of some stuff. You easily spend €5-10 just for something you want, and in the end, it's really big.
Yeah.
But like we talk about this as well. Like after you try the anti-gravity, I said like that's the reason. Like in the end, it won't be that big in the developers or people who has technical skill on specific areas. It won't be big. It's just for everyday people who don't know how to code.
Well, would you say N8N would be good in workflows? Like, you know, if you put something into a Google Drive, I mean, then you can, let's say, OCR the document, or the video, or audio, or turn the document into audio, or it reads it and summarizes it, and you have this entire workflow from, you know, end to end, you know, endpoints to go end to end and say, okay, this does it all for you, and it orchestrates it in a very simple-ish way. I say ish because, I mean, it's definitely not you still need some level of knowledge and understanding.
Yeah.
So how would you see anti-gravity taking that step, or cursor, or any other, you know?
The reason I didn't feel and it's really running for me is just the sheer amount of time I spent it in to get one pipeline working. From a technical background, for example, I'll give you a good example is I connect to the it offers the quick solution of connecting to any platform, which is good. It has a lot of connectors, but in terms of filtering the data, transferring the data, all that, it has a specific format. You could put an agent in, you put this, you put that, you put whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's very formatted, but in the code, I can do this, I can do that, I can do different way. It's a lot more free there.
But you're more would you say you're more hands-on in regards to, so when you look at N8N, it's an extra layer on top of something, and when something goes wrong, you know, so if you say, okay, rather than me working it directly into my database, my files, my LLM, I can run that directly and get rid of that extra bit, if you know what I mean. So it's like working, like, you know, like for example, you have GitHub. GitHub has, you can work that from command line, or you can get, you know, GitHub Windows, and you download it, and then you can it's got a user interface where you can enter in, or you click and drag and whatever. Where when you use a command line, you have to know the commands and type it in, but it runs much cleaner things because there's not as much, I guess the word is, overhead.
Yeah, you can do everything in the code, and you can also do that in AI, right? AI is basically built on top of the code with interface, right, for you to do things, for people to do things easily. But I do see that running into two different running into at least one issue here is, like, if it doesn't have some function which, or some API change on some connector you have, Jira or whatever,
Yeah.
you have to wait for the AN created a new version to adapt it. And this cannot be run in the production. If something broken, I have to go in there and be able to fix it, not waiting for another release. That's the thing.
So that there's the overhead. I mean, to a certain extent, overhead, and also what you're saying there. If you have a bespoke tool to connect into it, you can't connect into it in the end. That's a very good point, because you can be waiting for a long time, because first of all, there are some people who pay for N8N, and then there's some people who do not pay for N8N, because we don't pay for N8N because we host it on our own server. So we don't pay for that. So what benefit does N8N, if I can talk here, have in order to develop something out? Because it's just either, they have to get someone to do it, but we're not paying. So there's no priority for it, if you know what I mean. It has to be like large amounts of users in order for it to be prioritized, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. And to code inside AI, I know they have small modules, but you can't really do complex code in there. Yeah, I think it's good, but just it's for different user. Vibe coding, specifically, if you don't have the programming background or the technical knowledge of the stuff you wanted to build in vibe coding, don't do it. All right.
Because you don't know what's happening.
Yeah, because you don't know what it create. It could choose all different stuff, and then you have to hold in hand with this vibe coding tool on the way, review everything, and then go through it with your technical background to guide him to produce the stuff you wanted. Normally everyone code from the start to the end of one project. I see a lot of people do that. Yes, that's great. And you find out amazing, but the problem later on is how you're updating. That's the
Or
problem.
if you need to change a little thing and then it goes and changes something else. In my experience, which I like, and I thank you for getting me onto anti-gravity, which is great, because one of the things is, as we talked about before, you can decompose your task into smaller tasks, and that requires knowledge. You have to understand the different decomposing section, but you bring it down into small bits and small tasks and get it to do those little tasks. But I love the way it works with the agents, and like, you could just get it to do something. Like even today, I had a meeting, and I was able to articulate what I needed to do before the meeting, put it into my anti-gravity, let it work. And when, whilst I'm in the meeting, I'm doing two things. I'm in a meeting and I'm getting my code done. And then, during the, I'll look over in my computer, I can see, oh, it's doing it. Oh, it needs, this is, okay, it did it. Oh no, change this. And I can type in two things, change it. And I know right away, because I know what needs to be changed. And it gives you where it goes up the lines, and it shows you in the code where it's changing, review changes, and you can approve. And you, by looking at the code, go, oh yeah, that's right. But the rest of the code, you go, well, yeah, you're going to have some level of, I'm not going to say trust, but know that it's doing what it's supposed to do. And obviously if it works, and so it's able to speed up that productivity. But I really like the way the Gemini, the vibe coding, it's really good. But I can see, where I need to make a few changes here and there in it. But if you don't know what you're doing, then no chance. There's no, it's kind of one of those things where if it works, you maybe just got lucky. Do you know what I mean? Like you put it in work the first time, oh, you got lucky. It's like, oh no, I can do this.
But also, yeah, it could be lucky. But also, right, James, like if I'm asking to create some kind of data report compared to your one, even we're using the same tool, I don't have the background knowledge as you do. The
Yeah.
tool come out will be different. The products come out, all the report come out will be different as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the different knowledge of different things. Yeah.
Well, I found what worked really good is to tell it, you know, in a JSON format, you know, what tables, what table you have in your database, what columns you have, and then what data types are in there. So then when you want to do a query, it has that JSON file to go and say, based on this JSON, this is what I want to look at. And then you look at the code and the query go, yeah, that's correct. It can do it, but it connects those keys and those very quickly the entities and finds it and can do it in seconds, you know, and come back and go, yep, that's correct. Like you said, but it's that knowledge I have because I go, yeah, that's correct. Or I go, that's not correct. But I can tell you the more times I've said it's not that it is correct than saying it not correct, it's getting, I mean, more and more. Because before you go, that's not right, and you have to go and change a few things here and there. But again, like your knowledge, where now it's like, oh, that did do it correctly. That's a very elegant way of doing that. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. And I do see like in the future what like I just thinking about here. It could be a very bold thing.
Don't be a bold boy now. Christmas is around the corner.
Yeah. It could be like in the future, a senior, let's say a senior cloud engineer could be just a senior with knowledge and also the senior knowledge on top of how to use the tools they provided, right?
Yeah.
Because right now the vibe coding tool don't have long-term memory. If it has long-term memory, it can knows everything. I think there's a more efficient way to do long-term memory and understand the code base, and it can really kind of helping you work. You know, the conversation you had, it kind of remembers that, and then store somewhere. It go to the back. It go through those memory one. If we can efficiently save those out into some database, it will be amazing.
I think that the large companies, now you're saying this, I think the big companies like Google, Microsoft, Meta have these things, Amazon, and this is why they're letting people go, because they have such a large context or such a large memory and context of what their systems are, that these AI can work just as you're saying there. It has that memory. Whereas like, okay, so this product is now going to come out to be sold.
Yeah.
How are we going to price it? How are we going to, I think they're laying it out little by little. They're getting us addicted to it. Because I mean, right now, anti-gravity is what? It's free, beta version. But how much would they charge? And then you go, okay, well, how much would you pay for that? Would you pay, we were talking earlier about price points. Would you pay 20? Would you pay 50? Would you pay 100? You see, and all of a sudden, I mean, I guess as well, they're probably the price points are going to be around tokens, because I find like, you can work about an hour and a half, and then it stops you for a couple of hours. But what you can do in that hour and a half, you can do a lot.
But I don't know if those companies will let them go do a good job or not. I feel like the AI don't have the personality. We needed to have personality, and AI can really replace human. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It can't be just always right. And you're right. And then thinking about this kind of person.
Well spotted. Apologies.
Thinking about this kind of system working on the code on its own, I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah.
And then the same time, maybe the cost of engineering Amazon is quite a lot. It's US and Europe is a lot lower, and we don't see that in China anytime soon. Any places hire a human is cheaper than compute power. They probably hire an engineer, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's it's a whole new world we're living in, and it's changing rapidly. I mean,
yeah,
I think we've had this discussion in regards to like what is the world going to look like afterwards, and like Elon Musk was saying where people are going to be making money and AI is going to be doing everything. That's all great and everything, but because people say AI is going to take our jobs, which is it's possible, but the thing is then these people that are manufacturing stuff. Okay, so we talk about AI. If you don't have a job, how are you going to pay for it?
mm-hmm.
If you don't have a job, how are you going to buy a car? How are you going to all these products and services? How are you going to do these things? Um, and that's why I don't see how it's going to happen in that way, because then
Yeah,
people are going to be making stuff for nothing. And so I just think the way the world is changing so fast. I mean, we've had these changes before, but we've never had them this fast.
mm.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine if you, Jinsha, like when you studied and you became software developer, right, engineer. Would you think that if you had these tools you have today, would you be a better engineer, the same, or worse? And the reason I say, because I think of myself, I'm like, well, maybe I would have been worse because I would have just gone the easy route and just say, well, I'll just do that.
Like I'm always like to learn new things. I'm always learn 80% of the new things, leave that 20% out, because that's the exception amount of time you need to
Yeah.
put it in for the last 20%. So I'm always going for the easy route as per se, the 80%.
Same here.
So I'm picking up stuff pretty quickly. I'm not expert in any particular area, but I would say it will help me. But that's what I'm worried about as well, because the sat nav as well, right? It's like sat nav in the car. When we don't have sat nav, we have maps. You find out a lot of jam, like little places. You drive the wrong road, nice places, and then later on you marked on the map. This is what I'm worried about on the AI stuff, because he told you lose that research bit. You might find something more interesting than what he tells you.
Yeah.
This is the thing. It might be, I don't know, generally speaking, probably similar, but you might end up slightly worse or slightly better. I don't know.
What
This
you're
is
saying there is it's maybe not the researching, the discovery. The
yes,
discovery of something that you were like, wow, I didn't know this existed.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my gosh, look at this and look at it. And it's like, yeah, I know what you mean, because I mean, I used to use maps. I mean, back, I was around, when there was no internet and no phones, and
yeah.
I mean, yeah. So it's definitely a different world that we live in. Are we? And this, I guess, where they're saying is that it's going to make us dumber. AI is going to make us dumber, and the aspect, I guess, not dumber, but I guess the word would be lazier. But
From a psychology thing as well, I don't know if that's good as well. I mean, like our brain needed to rewire, needed to go to different places, right?
yeah,
To rewire. Um, that's the first thing. Like I've been told before, like when I was dealing with, like step one, step two issues, are really, really big problems, and how to maintain calm and dealing with those is the first thing. Is even in you working in a company, go to the location of the building you've never
yeah.
been there before, kind of rewire a brand, and then come down and come back, you can deal with. And this is the thing, if you're constantly facing the AI stuff, you don't do that. Even like different books, you're switching that's a different environment,
Yeah.
other than the text constantly coming at you. Maybe that might be applying
Well,
something.
learning, our brain needs to learn, and those neural pathways need to be developed, because you stop using them. But Bill Gates famously said, as we were talking about being shortcut, easy route, the lazy route, as you call it. He always said he would prefer a lazy person over a smart person, because the lazy person finds the easiest way to do something.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he actually said that, but it's famously that was one of the lines that he used.
AI generated.
So with that, we're coming to half an hour, so we're going to finish up. Thanks, Xiao. Very good conversation. For our viewers there, I don't know if you have any questions. Feel free to ask any questions or comment and subscribe to our channel. And we really appreciate you guys tuning in today. We will see you next week, which we should be 3 Amigos next week. We will see. I think
Unless
so.
Marina take a retest.
I didn't say that now. So thanks, Xiao. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers. God bless. Bye-bye.